Hi folks, this is Jessica Garrett Mills again, checking in December. I'm going to do 3 short videos for you, 2 shorts, 1 medium. What I'm going to be talking about today is brain breaks for older kids who are working at home. Now that we are back to fully remote, this is super important. Again, I have lots of clients, I mentioned this back in September, who are literally not leaving their desk all day long. You might be thinking for your students who have executive functioning challenges that this is not exactly the problem. But even those with executive functioning challenges might not be moving. They might be clicking to other screens, they might be checking their phone, but their body is not physically leaving their desk. So if you head to ontrackacademiccoaching.com/UAPD, you find our little website here with the resources from September if you missed them. And here are the resources from December. And this might be where you found this video. And then if you click on the brain break experiment worksheet, that's going to go along with what we're talking about right now in this video. Okay, so the main idea with brain breaks for students is we want to get them moving, their bodies physically moving. This gets their blood flowing. It increases serotonin, which is great for mood. It's like the mood regulation hormone. It probably also increases dopamine, or the availability of dopamine in their brain, which is, dopamine is the reward chemical for the brain. It's a motivation chemical. So we want to get them moving. We want to get them away from their screen for a minute. That means brain breaks ideally are not watching a video online. Brain breaks are definitely not watching a YouTube video where they're just again in a slumped position and watching their screen. The gold standard for a brain break is something outside. There's something magic that happens when we get kids outside. There's some interesting research about changing focal distance. So from here to here is a pretty short focal distance. If I'm looking around my room, it's a short to medium focal distance. If I get outside, my focal distance changes. I'm looking at the tops of trees. I'm looking at the end of the block. And there's something very calming. It reduces stress hormones when we change our focal distance. This is why running outside wins over running on a treadmill, because we are changing that focal distance. So gold standard for a brain break is outside, away from screens, and moving. Now, middle school and high school kids are big into choice, and that's great. That's as it should be. So if you click on this, and I've included it as a Google Doc, which means you can download it and change it if you want, if there's something that works better for you, or you can just use it as is if you think this might be interesting for your students. I like to couch things in terms of an experiment, because this is about them learning how their brain works, and we're just experimenting. I don't know what's going to work best for your students in terms of a brain break. I have some ideas, but they're the ones that have to actually use it, and they're the ones that have to decide what works best for them. So again, ideal brain breaks, move your body, they're outside, and they don't involve a screen. But any break is better than no break. So what I want them to do is first brainstorm 10 brain breaks that might be good for them. This is something you could do in a supported study hall or something. Have your students brainstorm 10 brain breaks. They can choose from the ones here. Shoot baskets, outside, moving, away from screens. 10 lunges, 10 push-ups, 10 jumping jacks, something like that might appeal to your athletes who are supposed to be doing that stuff anyway. Walk the dog, that has the added boost of some oxytocin because you've added a pet, and that's a feel-good hormone, a sort of a bonding hormone. Dance hard to one song. FaceTime with a friend and don't multitask while you're talking. You can present that in a way that's sort of like, and I know you're gonna want to. So challenge them to see if they can actually focus on their friend for a certain amount of time. Yes, that's a screen, but you know, not all solutions are perfect. Walk to the kitchen and make a snack. Do a short YouTube yoga video. Again, it's a screen, but it's moving. So that's a win. They can experiment with other things. If it's a student who has a family that's comfortable with them walking with a peer, like just going outside and meeting a friend to walk during a study hall or something like that, that's awesome, because then they get a little bit of that social interaction. And then we want them to reflect a little bit. How often did you need a break? Can you catch yourself when your focus is drifting? That's really hard, but maybe they can do it occasionally. When you struggle to get yourself focused again, that might be a good time for a break. You're also going to want to guide them into thinking about what is an appropriate length of a brain break. It's not work for 10 minutes, break for 50, but it might be work for 30, break for 10. At least then they're doing stuff. And given that the day, I believe for you guys during remote learning is still following a Zoom schedule, they might only have 20 minutes. And what can they do with that 20 minutes? They're gonna be tempted, just as I am, and probably you are too, when you've got 20 minutes to just kind of zone out, check social media, do something that involves the least amount of work. But if they do one of these brain breaks, we want to have them experiment which made you feel refreshed and ready to get back to learning, which didn't work at all, and then give each of the 10 that they chose a rating. And then we can say, like, okay, there were 3 that seemed to work for you. Let's go with that. What might get in the way of you using those brain breaks? And what can we do to support you making the choice to do a brain break as opposed to just zoning out on your computer? Okay, so getting your kids outside, moving, not on their screens, in between studying, is really going to help them get through these next few weeks before the end of the semester and help them deal with whatever happens when we come back, because who knows, right? All right, check out the other videos if you're interested. And as always, feel free to email me. Back on that webpage is, feel free to email me with questions, and here is my email address. Okay, so see y'all soon. Bye.